I've been the proud owner of Hawaiian Hydroponics for about 5.5 years now. I wonderfully bought the business from my father, who was the previous owner of the hydroponics shop. Since then, we've increased our inventory, lowered our prices, and put up many demo gardens for you to see soil and hydroponic units all in action. Gardening runs in my family. My father started me on my first hydroponic plant when I was 5. It was a Venus flytrap. My grandparents are from very country regions in Italy. So they've always worked the land, they've always harvested off the land, lived off the land, and given back to the land in the form of proper gardening methods. And so that's made me very avid in continuing on, I guess, their legacy that they did leave, you know, in me. And my name, Carmi, actually Carmela is my name, and that means garden. So I kind of find it fitting and actually kind of ironic that I ended up loving gardening, getting into gardening, being in the gardening industry for the last 18 years, and having my own garden shop, which is something that's been a dream of mine since I was a little girl growing up in my dad's hydroponic shop. I used to daydream about, you know, what it would be when it's mine one day, and what it's going to be like when I have my own garden center where everybody knows your name and we're always glad you came, and you know, so you know, and I get to add my own, you know, energy and love to it. And so I think people really feel that when they come in here, that they're just, it feels like home to them because it's home to me. And I love that, and I think they do too. To be honest, there's really no other peace I feel than being in my garden. If I could sit in my garden all day long, that would be my choice. That's what I would choose for myself, is to be able to sit and garden all day long. I mean, it's just, to me, it's one of the most enjoyable hobbies. I think one of the reasons I love gardening is that there are so many ways to do it, I never get bored. Between the soil and hydroponic methods that they have available to us, I always have my hands in something different. I always have my hands on a new fertilizer or something I can try in my garden to help boost it and make it grow better. I just love the way the plants grow. I love trimming the plants. Going into the garden is very meditative and relaxing for me. And so with hydroponics, I'm able to spend most of my time on my plants and very little time having to pull weeds or till soil or worry about soil-borne insects or pests. I don't have to worry about any of that with hydroponic gardening. I get to spend time on my plants, which is the best part of the garden, you know? You don't want to have to sit there and till everything all day long. Well, gardening is a style for sure, and you can tell by the systems that I have, I'm eclectic. I think you can look at anybody's garden and probably pick out their personality type by what kind of setup they have, because gardening is such a personal style that, you know, I mean, people who have the streamlined, you know, sleek, plain systems, you could see that they're more streamlined and sleek themselves. And someone like myself, for instance, who's ADHD, you can see that come out in my gardening by the 10 different units that I have running and the soil and hydroponic play that I go back and forth on. And so I'd have to say that this industry does let you express yourself in a very beautiful way, in a very positive way, in a very earth-friendly way. There's honestly nothing I would rather do. I just love gardening.